Thank you guys for giving me
Hello.
some time. Allows everybody to get in here and get on, and I can admit everybody and just kind of, get started. I actually wanted to ask first. So I had thought that I had posted. Who's in the Facebook group on here? Are you in there, Alexander?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, awesome. I don't know if did you see a post from me saying what today's topics would be?
I did. Yeah, I have seen them.
In a Facebook group, right?
hmm
Because I'm not seeing it now.
So it's like an announcement. It looks like it wasn't just a regular post. So if people go into announcements, they can see that it was made.
Oh, maybe I need to go. How do I do? Oh, announcements. Okay. I feel so. I've been on Facebook for such a long time. I'm like, how did I not realize that was a feature? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they add new stuff constantly.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Like I said, I'm just preparing. I'm ready to send my package out. So
Okay.
yeah, I did my live scan and everything else,
Nice.
and yeah, its live scan has been completed, like my background check. So I just almost done finishing up and taking the course for the prep, and then we'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know that this is mostly for new people right now, like this call, but I'm
Oh,
around, so I decided to join.
yeah. This is for everybody. Because some of the things I didn't that aren't really clear is what happens whenever there's holidays. And so I see a lot of people still working on holidays, which is totally fine. You can do that if you want to. But that's one of the things that I wanted to cover is what happens during federal holidays. And I'll share the link so that way we're kind of on the same page as to what a federal holiday is. I'm sure you guys all know because you're in the military. But I shared a link so that way everybody has access to that. And there may be some days where us here at Skillbridge aren't working. And even if it is a holiday and you still want to work that day, and you still want to study, you still want to do things, then that's fine. You're just not expected to work on federal holidays, New Year's, Washington's birthday, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day, and MLKJ Day. So those are the days that you are not expected to log in to Skillbridge. However, if you decide that you still want to, you can definitely do that. So, but just so you know, we probably won't be working on, most of those holidays anyways, like Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's and, the bigger holidays. I hate to say it like that, but the ones that are really major holidays, we'll probably take those off. But for some of them, we might still be working, such as Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Washington's birthday, Memorial Day. Some of those days we still may be working, but just expect that we're not going to be logging on and checking in the system. And if we do, then, that's obviously, something that we're deciding to do at that point. Um, so those are the days that you don't have to log in. And then as far as what I wanted to go over, I wanted to also cover what our schedule is, just so that way everybody's aware of what our schedules are like on a day-to-day basis. Right now, it's just me and David, which he's my husband. Like I said at the beginning of the year, we're trying to bring somebody on to help us, hopefully soon. So um, hopefully by summertime we'll have somebody here to help us because we're getting applicants every single day into the program. We get probably 3 to 7 or more applicants to our program. And understandably, everybody has questions and everything. So we're trying to make sure that we get to everybody. Um, but we are, David is still active duty military, so he's in the Air Force, so he's still working his regular job, so the 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, whatever his schedule is. He's teleworking right now, so sometimes he's able to jump in on these calls during his lunch break, but sometimes he has calls during his lunch break, so he's not able to jump in. But he's the only one helping me right now. We have 50 something people in the Skillbridge program right now. So we're trying to make sure everybody is taken care of, but it can be a struggle because I sometimes work 10, 12-hour days in real estate myself. And so it can be a struggle trying to maintain, responding back to everybody and trying to get to everybody and answer calls and texts. By the way, I definitely email me first, but if you find that it's been a couple days and I haven't responded, I'm very open to texting as well. So you guys can always text me. I'll put my number in the chat box. So, but yeah, you can text me as well. Sometimes that is a little bit faster than emails or even Slack sometimes. So if you guys want to text me if it's something that is pretty quick, then that's something that I can definitely help you with there. So I'm hoping that once we bring somebody on, we can have more calls with you guys and have more one-on-one interactions. I'm trying to make sure to respond to you guys in Slack at least 1 to 2 times a week. I wish I could do it every day, but sometimes I don't get the chance to do that. And I do, that's something that I want to make better and something that I, we're working on and trying to figure out processes and everything. We didn't start Skillbridge until last summer. So, with a fairly new program, sometimes it takes a little while to get things in place to make sure things are running smoothly. But I think we're slowly but surely going in the right direction and in a positive direction to make sure everybody is supported. Because each one of you means everything to us, or it means a lot to us. And so we want to make sure you guys are feeling like you have that backup and that somebody is there, watching over you. So we want to make sure that you guys feel that way. And so please just hang in there with us if we don't answer your question. I know some of you, if I don't answer your question, you'll ask it 3 to 5 more times, which is perfect. I'm sorry it's taken that long to get back to you, but if you have a question, unfortunately, if you asked it like a week ago and I haven't gotten back to you, I'm so sorry. But the best way is just to keep copying and pasting that question. And eventually me or David will get back to you. So I apologize that it takes so long sometimes for us to get that answer back to you, but we're doing the best we can right now with David and I working our full-time jobs, and then David working basically 2 or 3 jobs because he also does underwriting for apartment buildings at night. So, but just know we see you. We're going to get back to you, and if it's something urgent, definitely call us, and we will definitely get back to you if it's something urgent. So, with that being said, there wasn't a whole lot more that I had to say and to go over with you guys. So I guess I wanted to discuss a little bit more about any pain points you guys have seen in the process so far, and how you're dealing with the setup in Asana and how easy that is for you to go through that. So if anybody wants to chime in and have any input on that, that would be awesome.
Hi.
Hey.
How's it going? Yes, my only thing with the Asana was like, I had that question last week about the, was it conferences or the speeches that happen, that it wasn't like recorded, and we can possibly watch it on our own time compared to their time schedule, because it's on Central Time, I believe, and it's kind of like mixed up.
For which ones exactly, or what exactly are you referring to?
I think it was the fast learning. Let me see. I can look it up real quick.
He's probably referring to the XP World ones.
Yes, EXP World. Thank you.
So they are recorded, but I think that you have to actually be an EXP agent to access those recordings.
Okay. Well, I don't know if this is gonna push any ethics rules or anything, but is there any possibility that you can have those available for us, or we just have to wait for the times?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. You're saying so that way I could share it, so that way you guys could see the recordings, basically.
Yes, exactly. Because I mean, I get a couple, but the times are usually kind of mixed matched to where if I'm sitting down going through a session, I could watch 3 or 4 in consecutive order compared to multiple days, or like having it done in like 2 or 3 hour intervals where it's a break of 3 or 4 hours in between.
Yeah, that's a good question. Let me log into there now, so that way I can do it right on the spot. But you guys can keep talking if you have questions.
I have a question. Hello?
Hey, hi John, how are you?
Oh, hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So I've realized, like, when you're ordering or you're putting in your application to take the exam, it's taking like a long time for people from California to schedule one. So would you like recommend that, because I only have one more test till I'm done with the course, would you recommend that I order the exam now, or like schedule it now, so I like can take it as soon as I, finish my courses? Or is that even possible?
He won't be able to.
Yeah, so I'll chime in real quick. So the problem is that the California application requires you to submit your certificates from the pre-licensure courses to
Right.
qualify to apply to take the test. California is a very long, drawn out process, unfortunately. It's take the licensure course, print the certs, send all the certs in with your application to take the test. They're backlogged on that right now, back to January 6th. So like 2 months. And then once you get approval to take the test, you have to go online to schedule the test. And once you pass the test, you go through the license application if you didn't already do that. So it's a pretty convoluted, long, drawn out process, which is unfortunate. The other states tend to be a lot easier. California just likes to be difficult.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Also, if I can add some on top of that, the best way to do is the combined application. It's for exam and the license at the same time. So then you don't have to do it a separate send in of the documents, and then once again, you have to wait for USPS and all that. So if you do combine one, it's the best way to go.
Yeah, and the way to do that for EXP, because they won't sign, because they're getting so many agents coming on, they won't sign the documents until people have passed their tests. So you do the combined application and put your license status as inactive, not signing up with a to start with, and then right after you pass, the EXP team will work to get your license moved over.
Okay.
So as far as the fast start classes, Anthony, looks like so they do them depending on which class it is. Some of them are done weekly, some of them are done bi-monthly, but it doesn't look like I can share those with you guys. Just because there's no link to the video, there's only a slideshow link.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to look at it.
No problem. But yeah, that's too bad that it doesn't allow me to just share it. But yeah. Anything else from anybody? I know Alexander is close to taking his exam. Was there anybody else that I'm unaware of that is getting close?
I'm pretty close. I'm done with my my courses. I'm just doing the crash courses right now. But with the conversation that happened this morning, it was kind of a little bit kind of drawn out because I'm in California as well, and the process of having that exam being done 2 months in the future kind of makes me feel like I'm going to lose all of that information. So
Yeah, so
I've just got to do the application.
if you've got your certs already, I would definitely submit the app. My comment before was if you haven't taken all the courses required to submit the app, but if you've got them, given how long it's taken them to approve, I'd submit it because you're going to have plenty of time to do the crash courses like you're talking about while you're waiting on them to respond to you.
That's what I'm coming down to at the moment. I've got a second question too. So being that it's going to take that long for us to possibly get our exam done, more than likely we're going to be out of the program. You said in the past that we're still available to contact you guys or be available for any questions that we have. What if we wanted to continue on with the EXP Realty, at least hanging our licenses with them? Can we still use you guys as mentors or somewhat?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically we become your sponsors into the brokerage, which then, allows us to continue providing mentorship and guidance and our overall long-term plan with all this. There's going to be a large group like Tasha was talking about. We've got 50 plus in the program right now. So as this continues to build, there's going to be a lot of graduates that have gone through our internship that we know they're getting certain training, et cetera. And our goal is we plan on building up a referral network within specifically Will Group Skillbridge interns, right? So that all of you coming out of this will have contacts at a bunch of different bases. So when you have military folks to be able to refer, or non-military is fine too. You already know people at other bases that have gone through the same training, that have the same training available to them, the same mentorship, et cetera, where you can feel confident referring them out and know that they're going to be taken care of. So that's one of the benefits of going through the program and staying with it. This is not go through it in 6 months and then we leave you out on your own, right? The whole goal of this is partnering with you guys to make sure that you're successful coming out, and make sure that you're successfully able to build a business. And that doesn't stop, right, once you come out, assuming that you want to remain partnered.
Perfect, thank you. Another question too. So we had the conversation about the remote, what is it called, brokerage that is EXP, and not having the brick and mortar spots to put your stuff in. How can you share like I think you did last time, but can you share in a little bit more detail what the experience from working with EXP compared to being in a brick and mortar store would be exactly? Like what's the benefits of the cons and pros?
Yeah, I think I discussed that last time, but pretty much, yeah, there's a lot of pros to being at EXP, but I mean, there are some cons, and like I explained last time, there was some, there's some issues sometimes with getting payments processed. So that we've experienced. I would just go back and watch that last video. So there's a recording of it if you want to go ahead and watch that one. Because I covered a lot, I think, in that one, in that last recording.
Yeah, I mean, I would I would chime in and say that the stuff Tasha's talking about is no different than what we faced with other brokerages. So it's not really due to not being brick and mortar. It's still, in the current situation, it's still easier to get a hold of the payment processing people now than it was ever when we were at a different brokerage, because we would have to drive in. No one really picked up the phones. Now you've got a whole team that you can get a hold of via eXp World, email, calling, a bunch of different means. But we do, eXp is growing rapidly, right? So I mean, over the last year, I think we've almost doubled in size. And so with that, you're going to have some growing pains, right? It's an 11-year-old brokerage now. It's changing the way that real estate is done within the industry. There's a lot of big name teams leaving the Remaxes and Century 21s and KW to come to EXP. But with that growth is going to equal some bumps in the road, right? And we've experienced it. Like during big conferences at times, if you don't have your settings correct for EXP World, which I had to learn this, we have great graphics card in our computer, but even with that, without properly setting up the settings, my computer was constantly crashing out of EXP World. And once I reached out to tech and they're like, you need to make it for the simple avatar, so it doesn't try to render 3,000 avatars in a room and you won't crash out, it immediately solved the problem. But so you face, issues like that where you're breaking the tech as you're building it, right? Because it's growing so fast. On the flip side, the advantage is there's no brick and mortar, so there's nowhere to drive to. There's no commute time. You're accessing trainers from across the country and now across the world from your home, right? Without having to go see them, and we don't have to fly them in. We don't have to do any of that type of stuff. And the virtual environment that EXP is using is actually being used by a bunch of companies, including Fortune 500 companies now, to set up their own campuses for their companies as they start going remote as well. So I think there's a ton of advantages post-COVID. I think it's going to continue to expand even more. And so I think you'll see that. If you're feeling a lack of support, all you gotta do is reach out, right? Like just because you're not in an office, reach out to folks via email, phone call, workplace message, et cetera, once you get set up. And there's a ton of support there as well.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate the response.
All righty. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about? Doesn't have to be a question. Nope. Going once, going twice. I'm like, why does everybody have their videos turned off? It's just me and Alexander, it feels like.
People are hiding. They don't want to be seen.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, I mean, I've been here for a while, so I don't have really any questions. I'll just be sending in my application and that's it. Just wait there. So.
Do you have any questions or concerns about that process?
No, CalDRE has pretty clear guide as far as like, hey, if you're doing this, you need to send this. If you need this, so I'm just getting ready. I have an envelope and get a USPS pickup, and then that's pretty much it. And then if I know there's been some questions, CalDRE also have a form for credit card payment processing, so you do not need to get like a money order or anything like that. I think it's like form 500 or 501, but it's all on their website. So if anybody needs any help, you can always reach out. That's all.
Yeah, I think it's been helpful too with people having questions and posting it in the general area, because a lot of times, unless it's specific to you, somebody else is probably gonna have that same question. Yeah. So it's been super helpful for all of you posting in that general chat and Slack. So that's really good. Just looking at Tia's chat. All right, awesome, Tanisha. Yeah, I usually look a mess too whenever I'm at Zoom meetings, except for ones that I'm hosting. So totally get that.
Hence camera off.
Yeah, hence my camera's usually off. Hey, no judgments, no judgments. I think we're all just happy to see human faces, so.
The beauty of this industry is exactly that. You can work from home, you can zoom
Right.
in, you can, I mean, there's plenty of stuff you're gonna have to do out in the field once you start getting clients, but like that's, okay, so I'll give that plug. That's one of the great things about EXP for training. You can take training while sipping coffee in your pajamas, right? Like what other brokerage are you gonna do that at? You try to come
None.
into a Coldwell Banker or
In your
Remax or
pajamas.
Century 21 in your
Yeah.
pajamas, they're gonna kick you out the door, right? So.
I have a question, Tasha. How often, because I know you deal with military people a lot, like do you, so I'm like assuming that you deal with the VA loan more than anything,
Yeah.
but I follow like this other Facebook group with a lot of like veterans, vetted VA. I don't know if you've heard of them,
Yeah.
but they talk a lot about how like other real estate agents, they kind of like don't really know much about the VA loan, or they kind of like think of it as like a hurdle rather than using other kinds of loans, like traditional loans. So like what would you say do you view that as more of a hurdle, or like is it just the same process? Or
So sometimes, so I don't view it as a hurdle. Sometimes it's the lack of knowledge about the VA loan on other agents' parts. So when we're presenting the offer, we make sure to explain things to them, because unfortunately, people just have a lot of bad info out there about the VA loan. So, like for example, when other agents hear VA loan, they automatically think the appraisal is going to come in low, or they're going to have issues with the appraisal. Out of my 5 years of dealing with a lot of VA loans, because I help a lot of military, we have only dealt with an appraisal issue probably 2 or 3 times. So there's, that's not as prevalent as a lot of agents think, but we have ways to make it so that way our VA clients are, strong, especially in COVID, because it's government-backed loans, and, they're all military and all paid by the government, so they don't have to worry about their jobs. So that's also something that we bring up to them. And you actually got got some ideas flowing that maybe next time we cover a little bit more about the VA loan and how to utilize that, and how to help your clients once you guys become licensed. So I'd be happy to cover that actually.
okay, cool. Thank you.
When you say problems with appraisals, what do you mean?
Like the appraisal coming in low and us having to go back and combat that. It's called a tidewater when the appraisal comes in low. So say somebody purchases a home for 640, comes in at 620, you can basically go back and present more comps to the appraiser that did that. And so we've gotten it to where there was one that came back, what was it, 60K low, and so we got it up 30K, and so the buyer ended up paying the difference, just because it's a seller's market. So I actually think they ended up dropping the price too on that one.
Yeah, we sort of met in the middle on it.
Yeah, we met in the middle, and so we were able to combat that. So sometimes you do have it to where, especially if you're setting a new record in the community for the amount that the home is going for, you're going to see that, sometimes it does happen. And I'm sure it happens in conventional too. I just don't deal with the conventional as much as I deal with VA loans. So, but yeah, that can happen, and there's way to combat it, and there's ways to get over it. I just don't see, why other agents think that a negative thing whenever it's a government backed loan. And so pretty much we have really good lenders, and it's like, well, once they say that they're good to go, then they're good to go. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy to do some training type things too for real estate. It doesn't have to necessarily be all about Skillbridge, all about the Skillbridge program. So I'm happy to do those sort of things too. And then I also have trainings that I do for my clients that you guys see on the Quilt Group University. So I'm continually, I just did 7 videos for my YouTube channel that I'm going to upload. And so you guys can watch that too, because it'll help you once you get licensed, especially for those of you in California, because there won't be much difference between what you're doing there and what you're doing, for people that are in other states. So when we present ourselves in a transaction, we get paid the commission, correct? This may be a silly question, not a silly question. Yeah, you do get paid.
Which one is it? Oh, if they represent
Yeah,
themselves,
if
like
you
they're the
represent yourself,
buyer.
you get, you get paid. And you actually, I think you only pay if you're with EXP, you only pay the $250 personal transaction fee. So
Right.
you get just one or two. You get 2.
3.
Oh, 3.
3 per year.
Okay, you get 3 personal transactions per year that they don't charge you the
full
split
fee.
on, the fee on.
Right. The only caveat to that is, per the DoD, you can't make any income during the Skillbridge. So even if you were to represent yourself, you're still prohibited from getting income because it goes through the brokerage to you, and then that would violate DoD's policy. So that's an unfortunate provision of it, but it's a requirement since they're still paying military paying benefits.
We have less than 3 minutes till this call ends automatically.
I guess I have another question.
Sure.
How often do you deal with any transactions, or like how often do you deal with things that aren't locally? Do you do anything outside of LA?
Outside of Los Angeles, yeah, we go into Orange County, Ventura County, and then a little bit of Riverside.
We're in Orange County, Ventura, Riverside, and northern San Diego County, to include, all of LA County. And then we've got referral partners across the entire US. And we've already got one partner on our expansion team in Gainesville, Florida, that's actually on our team.
We'll have a minute 40 left.
Yeah, so we're continuing to expand out. But yeah, basically anywhere in the US, we either directly serve or can find people to serve.
And also our goal with the Skillbridge program is, I already have a group for it, but once everybody is licensed, we're going to stick you guys, or you can, it's an option, but we have a Skillbridge referral network basically. So that way, once you guys are licensed, you guys can send referrals to each other, and you can get a 25% referral fee off of that from the other agent. So that's what we want to create in the future. Anyways, thank you all for being here, and yeah, don't hesitate to reach out if you guys have any questions or concerns or issues or anything like that.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one.